Hi and welcome to the channel. I'm Tim and this is Run Tall. If you're new here, welcome to the Run Tall family. I'm really glad that you are here and you found us on YouTube. Now I post running videos every single day. Running shoe reviews, comparisons, and shoe battles. But I like to post a lot of other videos that are related to running as well, like training, recovery, and gear reviews. So if you're into that kind of thing, or maybe you're just looking for a daily dose of running, consider subscribing to the channel and don't forget to click the notification bell so you'll be notified each time that I upload new content. On today's video, I'm going to be reviewing and giving you my thoughts on a percussion massager by Hydragun after 1 year. So I've been using this product for a long time. But to get a disclosure out of the way, initially a year ago, Hydragun did send me this percussion massager for the purpose of review. However, they're not paying me to make the video. They're not telling me what to say. And no one from Hydragun has an opportunity to preview my thoughts before I share them with you first here on YouTube. And they have no idea that I'm making this video. All right, so let's just get into it. Now, first off, I'm going to say that it's held up really well over the course of the last year. I've really been enjoying it, and I use it all the time. I use it weekly. I don't use it every single day, but I use it a lot. And so I can say that it's holding up really, really well. But let's take a look and see, first of all, what you get. Oh, before I get into that, if at any point in time during this video you want to learn a little bit more about it, or maybe you want to purchase one for yourself, I'll put a link in the description below. It'll take you right to it on their product webpage, along with a discount code that they shared with me that I can share with you just for watching this video here on Run Tall. That's going to save you a little bit of money. So if you're at all interested, be sure to use the link and use that promo code and save yourself some money. All right, so now let's take a look first and see what you get. Okay, so anyway, it comes in a really nice case. Let's open it up and see what all you got. Now, this case does a really nice job of keeping everything organized for you. Of course, you have your percussion massager here. Then you have 6 different heads or implements. And then, of course, you got your power adapter. And I'm going to start with the power adapter, which might seem like a strange place to start, but I thought it was pretty cool. So no matter where you're at in the world, I think they pretty much got you covered because they have some adapters. So this is the one that I'm using, right? So this is the power adapter here. And I'm not exactly sure which country that this would work well in. So if you're from a country that uses a plug like this, now this top piece is just kind of plastic and then it's got the 2 metal prongs here. I don't know if that's Europe or not. I've been in the UK, but honestly, I don't quite remember what the adapter looked like that I was using to keep my iPhone charged at that time. So if you know, maybe you could add it in the comment section below to help out some of our other viewers and subscribers to the channel. But I use this adapter and it just plugs in there. And this is how I use it to charge it here in the US. But they also have another adapter as well. And again, I'm not exactly sure which country this would apply to, but they send you a couple adapters. So this one has 4 metal prongs and 1 plastic or dummy prong up here at the top. So I think no matter where you're at, you're going to be able to plug it in, charge it, and use it, regardless of your country of origin. So at least I think that's true. And again, if you know where this one is from or what country you might use this in, maybe you could share it with us in the comment section below, because frankly, I don't know. I'm not a world traveler, so I haven't come across that style yet. All right, so I'm going to set that aside, and then I'm going to pull out the massager itself. Now, there's no attachment in this one right now, and then there at the bottom is where you plug in your charge cable. So that just plugs into the bottom here, like so. And it doesn't take very long, and they do suggest not to overcharge it. So I wouldn't leave it on the charger, if it's completely dead, which is probably going to be unlikely because the battery in this thing is mammoth, but probably no more than about 3 hours. So don't leave it plugged in overnight. At least that's not recommended. I'm sure if you did, it's probably going to be okay. I just wouldn't do it on a routine basis. At least that's been my experience over the past year or so. All right, so let's take a look at the massage gun itself. The first thing that you're going to notice if you buy one for yourself is this is a premium massage gun. I think it's probably the best that's out on the market, or it certainly seems that way to me. At least the build quality is for sure. So they used aircraft grade aluminum. So this is not plastic. This is aluminum. And so it's going to last. And the nice thing with aircraft grade aluminum is it helps to keep the internal mechanisms nice and cool. So it's not going to be holding in that heat. So your chances of overheating are far less using this percussion massage gun than maybe one that's made of plastic. So aircraft grade aluminum. It's got a silicone. Now I don't know that you can make it out in this video very well or not, but this is a more rubber feel to it. So it's nice, good grip. It feels really comfortable in hand. And then the barrel is about the same size. And the reason I mention it is sometimes I am using this, by grabbing a hold of the barrel, especially if I want to reach around and get to my back or up on my shoulders or something along those lines. So I hang on to this in many different ways, depending on the area that I'm trying to reach, especially if I'm going underneath my leg. Sometimes I find it more comfortable to hang on to it this way than I do, hang on to the handle. But the handle does work really well, and it is very comfortable. And because it's got that silicone, it's unlikely that it's going to be slipping in your hands. So let's go ahead and install one of the attachments. And again, there's 6 different attachments. And here's what I would say. They all are shaped just a little bit differently. But over the course of the last year, I wasn't so hung up on the shape of the attachment as I was the feel that it was giving me. So use the one that feels the best. Okay, so oftentimes I was using this chrome-plated head. It's more of a flat head. And the reason that I use this, and I also like this ball shape too, but the reason I like the chrome-plated is it glides across my clothing pretty easily. And I do use it over my clothes, typically. Whether you're wearing, maybe a light pair of joggers or sweatpants or, just a comfortable shirt like this, it glides over your clothing really, really nicely. So I like and I use the chrome-plated attachments probably the most. And they've got a couple of them. They've got a flat one, and I use those for a lot of times for my big muscle groups, things like that, my quads, maybe up on my traps, that kind of thing. And then they have one that's slightly more rounded. There's not a huge difference between the two in terms of the feel. There's a little bit more space that it's covering here. But again, I would use these, pretty much anywhere, but they do work really well in those big muscle groups, as I said. But both with the chrome plate, that's the piece that's magic for me because it slides across my clothes really, really easily. I do like the ball as well, but this is kind of a foam, and it tends to catch up on my clothes. You can see the difference between the two. This is kind of catching that material where this just glides across it. So I just found, if you're going on direct skin contact, this might be the better way to go. But if you're going over your clothes, then definitely, I think, use one of the chrome ones. Okay, so let's go ahead and just attach one of these. I'm going to attach the kind of the rounded chrome here. And all it does is just plug in, as you could see on camera. So it's got a pretty good barrel there. You just slide it in and press it in until it doesn't go any further. It doesn't really take that much force to both install it and uninstall it. And then you have all of your controls back here in the center. Now, I'm going to share with you a little tip because when I first posted this review, I had some people who purchased the massager. They loved it, but initially they were scratching their heads because they couldn't quite figure out how to turn it on. But it's because they were just halfway there. Okay, so what you do is you just press and hold in the center for about 3 seconds, and when you do that, you're going to see, hopefully you'll be able to see, or I'll get a close-up shot of this later, but you're going to see the indicator lights here at the bottom light up. And those are your battery indicator lights. That tells you how much battery life you have left in this. Now, this will hold a charge for about 6 hours. So that's a long time. So it's unlikely you're going to have to charge it all that often. The indicator light's telling you that the machine is on, but you can see that it's not moving at this point. So this is where people made their mistake. So when they saw the lights come on and they wondered, well, why isn't it working, right? Because it's on. So what's going on? You need to start it. I guess that's a better way to put it. There's 6 different modes. All I have to do is just press it once, and now it's on, right? So it's on the lowest level, and then you can press it again. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then now it's not moving at this point, but the gun is still on because those battery lights are still lit. So I think that's where people got tripped up a little bit in the past. But once they realized that, that once they turn it on, then they actually got to start it. It was no big deal after that. So let's go ahead and I want to turn this back on. So it does have 6 different modes. One of the things that I absolutely love about this, or premium percussion massage gun, one of the things that makes it so is listen to how quiet this is. Now this is right up to my mic. You can see my mic right here. And so I'm gonna start to crank this up a bit. And so if you're using this in your home like I do, and you don't want to disturb the people around you who might be watching television, they might be listening to music or reading a book, it can get a bit annoying if you're running appliances and they have to keep cranking up the volume on whatever it is they want to listen to, or maybe they're getting disturbed because they're trying to read and focus and concentrate, and they can't do that if you've got some kind of noisy device going on in the background. Well, this is about as quiet as it gets. I mean, listen to that. It is just whisper purring along there, and it's at full tilt at this point. So let's go ahead and there, one more notch. I said it was at full tilt, but not quite. Oh my gosh, those 6 different settings. You got lots to choose from. Okay, so then fire it one more time, and then while the machine is still on, it's not running at this point. So that's one of the things I absolutely love about it. And the fact that you have those 6 different settings, you can choose the one that's best for you. Now, I typically do stay in the lower range usually, but you might want to crank it up if you want to really get things going. Now, the different heads, different ways I've used them. I like to use the chrome, as I mentioned, and the bigger ones for my bigger muscles, but they do have other attachments too. And I'm gonna go through those here real quickly with you, which ones are all included. And I'll just set that aside for now. Now we've covered the ball and the 2 chrome attachments. They also have a plastic one that is a flathead as well. I don't use this very often. I think you're just going to use it probably very similar to the other 2 that we already looked at, where chrome plated. This one is a little bit smoother, so it does glide across your clothes a little better than that foam ball does. And then you have this Y, if I can, it sticks in that case pretty well. Then you have this Y, and this would get into those deeper muscles, into those areas. I can probably count on one hand how many times I've used this. I started using it, around my legs, feet area, that kind of thing. But, I really don't use this all that often. But maybe you're going to want to get like on your back and you want to get more deep into some of those bigger muscle tissues. I think this could work really well for that. And then the last one is a bullet style. And again, that would be to really get in deep to some of those muscle tissues there. And again, I don't use this one all that often. I use the flathead and the rounded head the majority of the time, but it's available if you want to use it. Okay, so how am I using this and for what purpose? Okay, so I like to use it. I love to run, as I mentioned at the very beginning of this video. This is a channel that's all about running. So I like to use it to help me warm up in the morning, to get the blood flowing before I go out for a run. It's great when you're cooling down, but I think where I've gotten the most value is in recovery. And right now I'm in what I'm going to call active recovery. This is a recovery week, right, for me. And by that, I mean, I'm still out training and working hard, putting in, a good solid effort out there in terms of, physical activity, but I'm not running right now because I'm dealing with some hip flexor pain and a little bit of groin pain or abductor pain. It's referred to the same thing oftentimes, but, it starts back in my hip, it kind of wraps around and goes down my thigh. And because of that, I've been on my mountain bike. I've been riding my bike instead of running. And this is where this has really been a valuable tool for me because one of the things that happens when you get injured, and this is a form of tendinitis, and you get micro tears in your muscles and your tendons get stretched and all that kind of stuff. But when you get those micro tears, for example, what happens when the healing process starts and your body starts to heal itself, those fibers start to look more like this rather than in line with one another. And so as you begin to heal and you start to work on trying to strengthen, and now you're doing some dynamic exercise, some stretches, things of that nature. One of the things you really want to do is to try to straighten those fibers back out again so your muscles aren't so tight and sore all the time. And this is where this percussion massage gun is just dynamite, in my opinion, because the most effective way to do that, and I'm not a physical therapist, but I've been to enough of them before, and I've been to a sports medicine physician who specializes in sports injuries. And what all of those experts have told me is that the best way to do that is through some cross massage. Now, you can do it with your hands. You don't need a special machine like this to do cross massage. The problem is my hands get tired, and you're going to want to do it. For example, in my case, I'm working on that tendon that, that from my hip flexor around through my abductors, and I'm working on that. And to get my thumbs in there and to do the cross massage I need to do to try to straighten those fibers out, my hands get tired. And I can imagine if you have something like carpal tunnel, or if you have some limited mobility, it would be nearly impossible to do it the way that you really need to, because you really need to get in there and you need to work it for, like 5 minutes at a time, 20 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day, something along those lines. And to do that with your hands can be really tiresome, and it's just not all that enjoyable. That's where the percussion massage gun comes in, because you can use this device along with the head of choice, whichever one feels the best. And you can go across, and you can do that cross massage with the percussion massage gun to straighten out those fibers, just to help you heal a little bit faster. And all that percussion movement is bringing in blood flow and just helping you heal just that much quicker. So I absolutely love this machine. It is still firing on all cylinders after a year. The battery life is still fantastic. I don't think it's lost anything in terms of the battery life. Once it's charged, I still get about 6 hours of runtime on this. Oh, and a nice little feature here. So I'm going to turn this back on. And again, when you want to turn it on and turn it off, you just press and hold that center button for about 3 seconds. Right. So I'm going to fire this up a little bit here. It has a torque meter up at the top. So you got this kind of a cross. So the bottom, again, lights are indicating how much battery strength they have. And then the ones that go across this are the levels that it's running at. So 1 through 6, and that's determining just how quickly that percussion movement is happening. And then the top ones are what they call a stall indicator light. So if I put this on my hands and I try to stall this out, those lights will light up eventually and let you know just how much force is being placed on that. And if you get to level 3 where that's lit up, you're probably going to want to back off a little bit so you don't overheat or damage your percussion massage gun. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn this off again. Hold it for about 2 to 3 seconds, something like that, and it'll just fire off. Okay, so that is it for my 1-year review of the Hydragun percussion massage gun. Absolutely love it. It's holding up. It's definitely standing the test of time. And I absolutely think that it's worth the money that they're asking for it. I think this is a piece of essential equipment. All right. Hey, thanks for making it to the end of the video. I know it got a little bit long, but I appreciate you guys making it to the end. And as always, run tall, run strong, be kind to one another. Thanks for watching, and see you tomorrow.